where we are choosing a ride between the different Uber rides. I've just gone to Google Maps. I've just taken a screenshot of a random map location in Malibu, and I'm just going to paste that here. Okay, so first we're going to create a mask so we can get the background. Obviously, this map is a bit different from Uber's map is kind of like gray, and this is green. I don't know if it's because of my location over here. So I'm just going to create a rectangle. So this is how you create a rectangle. Just click on this and then draw it over here. But I've already done one. Um, and I'm going to place this behind my image. Right. I'm going to select both of them, vertically align and horizontally align them, and then I'm going to right click and click on use as mask. So you can see that's created a mask for us, which is basically like taking the shape of another object. So if I used a circle and I used it as a mask, it would basically place that inside my circle. So I'll drag this back to my frame. I'm going to send this to the back. Just going to delete this. Yeah. So send that to the back. I'm also going to hide the background of this top bar, so it uses the map as the top bar. So I select on the frame. You can see the status bar is selected over here in the left panel, and under fill, I'm just going to hide that. So the three things we want to create here. We want to create this overlay, this back button, and our tags. So I'm going to start off first by using this, by creating this. Now, because I already checked the specs for Uber's overlay, I'm just going to pick it from here and just recreate it over here. Alright, so this is what it would look like, but I'm going to extend the height. So, I'm going to start off by getting a rectangle and making the radius of the top ends 16. So draw a new rectangle. I'm going to make this color white. Make the height 64. Open the radius panel. Make the top ends 16. Alright. You can see there's a bit of a drop shadow over here as well. So black 12%, 16 blur, and -4. So add effects, black 12%, blur, make that 16, and y index. So that's how much is being pushed, shown at the y index of this element. So this is what we want to have. Yeah, so we're going to add a title. Going to use our title over here. Going to paste out just right on. So that's 18. Have they using 18 font size? Yes, they are using 18 medium 24. So this should be called choose a ride. We add our divider. So going back to MUI, it's going to select our divider. So it should be at the bottom. Going to increase the width so it covers the whole screen. I'll link this and change the color to, it should be either E8, E8, E8. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so this is basically the top bar. Now we want to, I'm going to pull this out here so you can see me design it. And then I want to add this background, so this card. So another rectangle. This is not going to have any rounded corners. It is just going to be a full width sharp edged rectangle. Make this white. Okay. Next we want to add our text. Actually, no, I'm going to create excuse me. So I'm going to create this bar as well. Alright. So get another rectangle. It's really just like a series of rectangles at this point, if I'm being honest with you. The bar, I can't exactly gauge how high it is, but by the time we add the button, so now I'm going to choose a button from our MUI. So I'm going to use this one, filled. It has no shadow, is a flat button. I'm going to bring it over here and and I can see the specs that Uber uses with this, right? So they use a button of height 56, 375 width, and then over here on our design system we can see like the font size and weight that they use for buttons. So pull that over here. I'm going to make our button 56 height and 375 width. So 56 height and width should be 375. Alright, I'm going to, I think the radius should be 16. I will cross check in a second. Nope, that's still too much. Try 8. Okay, I think the radius should be 8. Yes, you can see over here that is 8. I'm going to replace the text in this button. Just going to detach instance. I'm able to edit the components properly. So remove this text. So Uber buttons are white. Sorry, are black with white text. So make this black. The text. I'm going to unlink this. Make this white. So this is an Uber button. Name this if I make it a component. Uber button. And I'm going to make this a component. Alright. So over here I'm going to duplicate the divider that I created earlier on. I'm going to bring this down as well. You can see that it is behind the frame, so I'm going to send this to the back. So I make this color white so we can now see our line. Now I'll bring this button over here, bring the button to the front. Okay, so let's see how we're doing in terms of dimension. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this a group and I'm going to add padding to both sides. So the button is actually 343 and we just have padding on both sides of 16. So I'm just going to do 375 minus 16 on both sides, so that has minus 32. You can see that that has adjusted the width. And then I'm going to centralize everything on this frame. I think the bottom padding should also be, let me add our little bottom bar for this device type. I think we're using an iPhone 13. So I think the bottom padding should be about 8, or there's no so there's no bottom padding. So I'm going to bring this down. Alright, so it's just at the bottom of our screen. So we have like an overlay here, but then it's really light. So Uber uses an overlay over here, but I just want to sort of, in lack of better language, color grade this to sort of match the map we're going to use over here. So I'm going to make this like a light blue tint. Going to reduce the opacity to 30. Okay, so let's see how that's looking on our map. But first, I need to get a MasterCard icon and a right arrow. But let me just group all of this and bring it over to our map so we can see how that's looking right now. I still have to reduce the opacity on this to make it a bit lighter, maybe 15. Just go half. Still looks a bit blue. Okay. So yeah, this is coming together nicely. So let me look for icons over here. Material icon. I'll run that and I'll search for MasterCard. If I can't find one that's similar to this, I'm going to use a different plugin. MasterCard. No? Okay. Just get an arrow. Wow, I'm popular today. I can't find an arrow that's similar to. Okay, found one. So I selected that. Going to move that to our board. So this should align. I'm going to have equal spacing between these two. So because this is a new group, I have to select the group and paste it into it. So when I click on the Alt key, I can see the spacing between each element, right? So I'm going to make this align with the edge of the button, which should give 16 padding at this side. Exactly. I'm not going to change the spacing between the top and the bottom until I get the elements for this side. So I'm going to get our body text. We've already used this somewhere around here. I'm going to use our medium body text over here, and I'm going to put like the last 4 digits of my card. So I'm going to say 523 546 or something. Find circles. That shouldn't be too hard to find. I mean, I don't have to use an icon. I can literally just draw a circle, but the end goal is still the same. Okay, so because I'm extra, I'm going to create an auto layout for these. Also to make sure like the spacing in between them are exactly the same. Add auto layouts, maybe give it 2. So I can paste, make 4 of these. I'm going to create another auto layout with this number. So you can see that's centralized. I'm going to reduce the width of this text. Okay, and I'm going to bring this to the front. And then I'm going to make the spacing in between the auto layouts, say 4. Also, is this centralized? Is this horizontally aligned? Yes, it is. Okay. I think spacing might still be a little bit small. Maybe make it 8 rather than 4. Okay. So all that's left is to add our MasterCard icon. Yeah, now these are still huge. Say 6. Okay. I'll give it a height of 40. I'm only giving it a height of 40 because the padding on here is it's quite insane actually. So I'm going to add it to create an auto layout, or actually just add it to this auto layout that exists here. So I'm just going to Control Command X, come to the auto layout, Command V, bring it to the front. Yeah, 40 is quite big. So make it 16 at each side, increase by 2. And I want to make sure that this is actually inside this group. So I'm going to cut that and paste it. So you can see, so 8 at the bottom, and I'm going to give it 8 at the top as well. So reduce this height. Okay, see what that 8 looks like. It's too small. 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's perfect. Bring this down. Bring down as well. Have to group these sections together. Group that. Send this center back. So sending this to back, I'll just bring this to the front. Thought I grouped these two together. Bring to front. Group this. Okay. So we have our bottom bar, and now we want to create these lists. So I'm going to go back to our MUI, pick a list with an image and a 3-column list with images. If we have just 2, it's fine. So I'm going to pick this one. Let's see how many lines of text we have over here. We have about 2 lines, 1 to 2 lines. Just going to use this one. So copy this from our block here. Okay, so we have an image of a car, a bike, I've just gone to search for different Uber services images, and I'm going to leave all these images in the design file so you wouldn't have to do this yourself. So yeah, now we have those. I'm going to start off with Uber share. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to detach this component. I'm going to add this image to the auto layout. Bring this to the front. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to add a third column in this auto layout, which would be for our pricing. So you want to make sure you're actually on the part of the auto layout. Okay. I'm going to pull this over to the board so I can design with the right dimensions rather than just freestyling. So I'm going to make this have a width of 40. Oof, no, that is too small. Give it a 60 and 80 actually. I don't know if I'm fine with this 80. Might as well make it 100. So this I'm going to say I'm guessing $23, $23.50. And I'm going to call this Uber X share. So give it our Uber Move font, make it a medium. I'm going to give this 18 points, 0 spacing. Come over here, do the same, Uber Move, regular, 16 points, 0 spacing. And I'm going to give it time, so 0945. I'm going to make this an auto layout of its own, an auto layout and an auto layout. Put it next to each other, say 8 minutes away. Okay, now I think like the spacing between these two elements are too small. I'm going to make that 4 points. I'm also going to reduce the spacing between this to 8. I'm going to make the background of this. Oh wait, hold up. I'm going to add a circle in between the time and the distance over here. I'm going to make this center aligned. Reduce the width of this. Now add 8 points between each element in the auto layout. Alright. So now this is looking like it's a bit, you could actually crop this image so it's not as, okay, so come over to image, change fill to crop, and then we just adjust the blue markings. Okay, so what that looks like. Okay, it's not a perfect square, but it saves a lot more spacing than it did previously. I'm going to move this back to 16. And I'm going to drag this to fill the width of the frame. So 24 on this side. Should be equal on both sides. So I'm going to make that 24 on each side. Perfect. Now change this background color to white. And now we have a list. Let's see, am I happy with that? Okay, so now we're going to make this an auto layout. So I'm going to copy Control Command C. Not Command C. I'm just going to Shift and Alt to duplicate this. With add these two to an auto layout. Zero spacing between them. Make a third one for other services. Actually, 8 points between them. Okay. So we have UberX share. So we'll name this as UberX priority. UberX. Just change the pricing to be a bit more. I'm guessing, I'm not sure how much. UberX priority. I'm just gonna say 51. I honestly hope that this isn't how expensive Ubers are in the US, because that would be insane. So I'm going to replace these images. Just going to crop them on each side first. Crop. Crop. To package, just paste this over here. Give it a width of 60. Don't know why this has 61. Make this 60. Take this away. Name this as package. Come over here, pick up our UberX priority. Paste it in line with the auto layout. Bring this to the front. And like a share ride. So yeah, next thing we have to design our UberX. So this would be pretty simple. You can see that it's basically just an auto layout. The 3 columns, only that the car is in the middle and it has a black border around it. So I'm going to start with so this should be 16 on both sides. Actually 24 on both sides. Just -5. Oh, next. Okay. I'm going to give it border radius of 16. Height. I will change this later, but let's just leave it as 96 for now. We don't want a fill. Actually, we want a fill. White fill. Black stroke. 2 points. I'm just going to pick one of these. Place this inside. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely 16. So I'm going to add 16 to it. Plus 16. I don't know if that math is right. So it should be 16 on each side. Yep, okay. So over here, I'm going to pick our image, black car, place it in this auto layout, move it to the middle, make this a width of 60, take this out, So we're done with this. We're going to group all of this together. And of course the background. Group that. So, oh my bad, I forgot to group this. Still forgot to group the border as well. Group. I'm going to bring this down so people can be able to scroll. Oh my god, my goodness, I forgot to group that too. Group, 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 group. So bring this down. I'm going to bring this group to the front so it stays in front of this other one. Okay. This should be perfect. So just enough to select your right and see other options. Now I'm going to add the back button to this. One, two, three. And 16 from the side. So we've created our map. All that's left are these tags. This is now in front of the address tag. Okay, so now as our choose our ride screen, I can delete all of this. Can delete this as well. Honestly, to make a line like this, all we have to do is just use our pen tool. Delete this. And I'm going to move on to the next screen, which is requesting. So yeah, let's duplicate this one, rename the screen, call it requesting. Right? So what we want to do essentially is to remove this button, remove the section. I'm also going to remove all these lists. Ungroup this. And I'm going to edit this auto layout, and just all I'm going to leave in there is text. I'm going to centralize this. Going to make that regular. 16. I'm going to drop off by 10:30. Ungroup this. No, title this was 132. I'm going to delete this as well. And we need to paste this. I'm going to make this height 40. Oof, that is small. Height 80. We name this to ride requested. Finalizing driver details. Isn't this how you spell finalizer? Yeah. Line that to the center. I'm going to add these progress bars as well in the accent color. So we have progress indicators over here. I'm going to just copy one of them, come back over here. So I want 4 of these. So 375. Again, I want 4 of them. So let me just do some quick math here. I want to have 24 spacing at each side. So 375 minus 24 minus 24 again. So 24 at each side. And then I want 4 points spacing in between each progress bar. So that's 4 times 4, that's 16. So minus another 16. And then I divide this by 4. 77.75, which is what I want the length of this to be, right? So I can see, like, with the linear, oh my bad, I'm going to detach this instance of the component. Okay. Actually, no, undo that. So I'm going to make this progress 100. I'm going to duplicate this, make the progress 0. No. Going to make this going to detach this instance, take this out completely. So 77.75. So width of it should be 77.75. And I want to auto layout that. So Command C, Command V, add an auto layout with 4 points spacing between each object. Copy, paste. Also, all these, detach this color and use Uber's accent color. To imagine is, yep, that's correct. So, and then I make this 77.75 as well. Cut this, add this to this auto layout. That's how we've gotten our progress bar. So, just to organize it on our frame, so I want 8 point spacing between these two, or 16 rather. 1, 2. I want another 16 points between these two. And then I want another 16 points then I want 16. Just going to move this up here. Add a rectangle to demarcate this section and add this list as well. Okay, so our pickup is Barbie's house. Add a second one for our drop off. Okay. I do a little text that says add or change. Surprised we haven't done this already. Let's do this auto layouts. Remove this. Remove this. Make this the Uber accent color. Phone link. Color selection. Right align. Add or change. Sweet. Now on this side, 16 on this side. So just need to increase this. Reduce this to 12 points font size. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I guess we could also do this for, I can't remember if they both have add or change. So yeah, now that's all we have to do for this section. I'm just going to group everything together, group these two together, group this section together as well. And then group these two together. And now we can cut. I'm going to paste this inside the frame so that when we drag it down, the only thing is that I want this to be at the front. Perfect. You can also change the position of these. Detach instance. Oops. Okay. I'm just going to sort of drag this so it looks like we're already here. And I'm going to add a black dot for your current location. So 2 ellipses. Just going to 16 points for 1, and it should be black. Duplicate that, copy paste, make it white, make it 8 points, centralize. Select both objects by holding shift and command G to group. So I'd also like to move this map as well. It's going to move this also layout out. So I move this overlay out, and I want to drag it so the map is zoomed in. Okay. Place the auto layout back. Why do I keep saying auto layout? Actually, we don't even need this overlay anymore. Can I? Actually, no, we do. Okay, so put this back. Okay. Delete this. So there, we have our request screen. I can delete this now. And lastly, we have the pickup screen. Okay, same thing we did before. Duplicate this, rename the page, pickup. Now I'm going to pull this up, pull this card that we created over here. I'm going to pull this up so far up. I can delete this now. I don't have to delete it, I could just send it to the back. Okay, now I'm going to make this left aligned. Rename it as meets at the pickup points for 3 Unity streets. So notice that it's also in an auto layout, and the height is bigger. We can delete this, we don't need this anymore. Add 8 points to this. So you can add 16 points plus 16 to the height of this, right? And then we have to add this 2 minutes. You know, we already created this here, so I'm just going to copy this here, and I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to create an auto layout with 2 of them. I'm going to bring this to the front. Increase the width of this, add spacing between the 2 elements, 8 points, 8 points. Also, this is a bit bigger, so let's increase the height to 3, centralize this as well. So I think there should be 24 at each side. So 1, 2, 3. So going to increase this. So we have 24 at this side. Increase this by 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Cool. You have a bit of a drop shadow here. 12%. 16, I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So now, can delete this. I'm not going to add all of this, I'm just going to stop here. So when you're doing your own exercise, you can choose to, go as far as you want. I'm just being mindful of time. I'm going to reduce this to 40, make sure the constraints are on, and I'm going to get this image. Let's say he has a black, whatever type of car that is. and we'll send it. I'm going to bring this to the front. Bring to front, right click. Select there. Oh no. So because this has, I don't want this to have a white circle around it, so I'm just going to mask it. So choose an ellipse, 40 radius. I'm going to duplicate this actually because I want to make it have a border. Actually, that's not necessary. So I put it with the image. Align horizontally, vertically, user's mask. Oh my bad. I have to bring the image to the front, so put this behind. Vertical align, horizontal align, right click, user's mask. So now you can see that, now you can see that white thing that we had is gone. You can also do this in Illustrator, but obviously easier to do it. You can also do easier to do this in Figma. You can also use your pen tool if you wanted to do a custom shape like this card, for example. But I'm not going to do that in this tutorial. So add a stroke. Add a stroke. Nope. Group. Nope. Okay. So I guess this was necessary. So remove the fill of this. Add a stroke. I want white stroke. I'm going to group these two together. Just bring this into this group. Yep. Perfect. Make the size of this car smaller. Okay. I like how this is looking. I'm going to get a peel from over here. Back to our designs. Attach instance. Honestly, this would have taken such shorter time with the design system. You don't even understand. Yeah, we're using material design, but you still have to make sure that you build out your design system, like your foundations, your commons, all your components, just so much faster when you're trying to create something like this. Okay, so I'm going to give this 4.5 stars from 5.1. I'm going to open our material icons again, get a star icon, star. Thank you. Make this 16. I'm going to cut that, add this here, and also lay out with this, make on the same line. Perfect. Smaller, so it has at least 4 points on each side. So color should be black, background should be white. So I think it has a bit of a shadow, yeah. So I'm going to add a drop shadow to this. Effects, drop shadow, make this 12%, 16 over here. I think I'm fine with that for now. I have to increase this a little bit, maybe make it 48. 48. How tall is this car even? 48. Alright, that's right. So I'm going to make this border too. I want this two to be centralized. Perfect. I'm going to group these two together. Group all these three together. And then move this to 24 points inside so it aligns with the top. Okay. So since I'm not adding this, I can just take this out. I'm going to add this copy here, add this text over here. I'm going to make it right aligned. I'm going to change this to a Tesla, and I'm going to just random numbers, make this right aligned. Right, align this as well. Make sure that this is aligned with the top, so it should be 24 on the right side. So use your smart guides to help. I also want to align these two to be on the same line, then I will group them. Perfect. And then the spacing at the top should be 16. So I'm just going to okay, 16, there we go. Bring this down. So this should be in front of this. Just cut this, then paste it. Should be in front. Sweet. And then I'm going to add our driver's name, his stars, the pickup notes, and call. So I'm actually going to use this element we've created before. Copy that, bring to our page. Paste that here. Let's leave it under first. Let's do his name first. So I want to change this to our driver's name. I'm just going to drag that out, place it where it is. I'm going to call him Mr. Miyagi. Jesus. Change the font color to our accent blue. Leave it as medium. I want to underline it, so come to these little three dots under decoration. You see an underline over here. Copy this text from over here, and you guessed it, yes, add it to an auto layout with this text. Sweet, cool. Select both of them, add auto layout. I'm going to add 8 points of text of spacing between them. So we're gonna make it smaller. Oh, we have a little circle like we had before. So I'm going to pick this from here. Again, these should all be components, right? So make them easily reusable. Paste it in here, move this to the middle, and center align them. So there we have it. So I want 16 spacing between these two. Perfect, that's 16. Then we can take all of this out. Let's drop off, take this out. I'm going to take this lower line out as well. And the only thing that I want here is my pickup notes bar. Oops. Select this. So I want 16 points in between this and the name. 16. I want to centralize on the page. Take out this icon over here, auto layout, so that shifts. Rename this as any pickup notes. Oops. You can see that this is a regular font rather than a medium. Change that. Change this to 16. Maybe I was wrong. Was I wrong? Don't know that I am. And then I want to take this out. Delete that. Then I'm going to reduce the size of this, and I'm going to add a button, a round button that we had before. Going to paste it here, and yep, auto layout. But then I want 8 points spacing between them. For 16. Okay. Going to cut this frame, paste it back into our group. Yep. We use the height, so this is 16 underneath. One, two, three, four. Okay, and there we have it. This is where I'm going to stop for this tutorial today. So group everything on the screen. Just go ahead and do this, and just select the back. Two, three, four. And I'm going to bring this down so it matches up. Something is missing. Bring this down. Okay, so there we have it, our last screen. So now that we've done all this, I am going to go ahead and prototype screen. So we're going to go ahead and prototype it. The first thing you want to do is go over to prototype mode. So currently we're on design, and then you can click on flow starting point, which is going to appear at this label or any of the pages. So you can just like drag it to whichever page you want to be your first starting page in your prototype. So if we want it to be this page, this is the first page that would show on when we run our prototype. But I want it to be this home screen that we design. So you know how Uber works in terms of, you know, you click on the address. Let's say it's an address you recently visited. So when I click on this, I want drag this to the page where it's going to take me to. So we can see different sort of actions. So on tap, on drag, while hovering, while pressing, while using the keypad. So we want this on tap. So when the user taps on this, then we go to switch rider. Also, when they tap on where to, so you can see like little circle appears. So just drag that to the connecting page. So again, when you select an address, it should take you to choose ride page. Obviously, we're not doing this in detail because, well, there's other pages that are not included. For example, suggestions, or say with Uber. Why is this here? Delete. Yeah. So we want this back button to link back to the home page. Drag on tap as well. We want see everything that's connected to this page. Okay, so now when you choose UberX, just choose UberX. Now this should go over to this page. So something new. Just trying to see why this is so far below. Okay. So now on this page, we want it to sort of delay for a few seconds when it's looking for your driver, and then get to where you find the driver. So click on the page. Now if you click on any element on the page, and link it, you'd see that you only have on tap, on drag, while hovering, but we want delay. After delay, we want this to happen. So I'm going to delete this interaction, and I'm going to select the entire page. Now when I select the entire page and drag it to the page I wanted to connect, now you would see after delay is now showing. So I want this to wait for about, let's say, 3,000 milliseconds, and then bring this up. Maybe we could sort of try smart animate, see how that turns out. Yeah. I've connected a lot of back pages. Go back to this on tap. Go back to the starting page on tap. Okay, so let's play our prototype. Let's see how that's going to work. Okay, so we have our page. Let's click on Barbie's house. Where to? It's Barbie's house. You can see UberX package. So choose UberX. So wait for a few seconds before it takes us to Mr. Miyagi. Our driver has been requested. And that's perfect. So let's also play it on a different page. I think I have my prototype settings. Yeah, set to a background and a device. So let's see how it looks on an actual device. Okay, Barbie's house. Select the address. Select where to. Choose a ride. This should be scrollable. If we drag, but we don't have pages for those. I'm sure following tutorials we're going to sort of try out different interactions to see how they all work. So choose Uber Go, wait for a few seconds with the after delay interaction, and then we find our rider. Perfect. So thank you guys for joining us on this challenge. We're going to sort of put out more challenges in the community. You can also get rewards. Just make sure you're on our WhatsApp community channel to sort of keep up to date with when these come out. If you like the video, you can subscribe to the channel to sort of see more challenges.